Captain. Captain, can you hear me? You in there? Doctor? Doctor, I think something's happening. There's blinking. Captain, come on. Hey, there you are. You with us? Yeah, you're in sickbay. Don't try to move. Doctor, no moving, right? Yeah, no moving. Stay still. We're working on it. The doctor is working very hard on it. But you're awake, so that's a good start. Just breathe and relax as best you can. Your body is healing up. No, everything's fine. The ship is fine. No one's in danger. Everyone's okay. Except you. But you are also okay now, so there we go. Crisis averted. I will catch you up on everything that's going on, but not quite yet. You just woke up. We need to make sure you're okay, and your brain is okay, and... Okay, but... Doctor, would it be wise to, go over everything right now? I know, I get that, but you know how it goes if we don't... Yeah, I'd rather not deal with a tantrum. Okay, I'll give you the quick and dirty version of what's been going on, but I want you to keep in mind that everything's fine. Everything is totally fine right now. You don't need to do anything. The ship is in one piece, all systems are go, and nothing I say will merit you trying to jump out of this bed and onto the bridge. You got me? In fact, if you try, I would bet the doctor would sedate you. Right, doctor? Exactly, so keep all that in mind. Also, first, would you like something to drink? Some water, maybe? Okay, let me know if you do, or a snack, even, assuming it's safe for you to eat. Okay, I promise I'm not stalling. I've been here for a while, and I'm very, very glad you're back with us. Of course, I never left your side, unless there was captain stuff to do, which I handled, don't worry. You know you can rely on me, best first officer in the fleet. So, yeah, what happened? Do you remember that energy cloud we found? The one with the pretty blue-green color? Yeah, that was a week ago. Hey, don't freak out or I won't tell you anything. You'll have to read it in my report when you're back on your feet. You got me? Okay, good. So, the energy cloud. Apparently it was a sentient being, and that being took over your body for a while. Yeah, it just sort of possessed you. Took us a little bit to notice. I mean, you seemed normal, it acted like you, but there were small signs. Well, like when you ate a mushroom unprompted. No chance you'd do that unless something else was controlling your body. And also, you called me Pookie Bear. No, sorry, First Officer Pookie Bear, in front of people. I know, I don't want to talk about it. But obviously it wasn't that hard to figure out something was up. Yeah, so we had to figure out how to get the entity out of you, and that took a lot of studying and research. We had to put you in a holding and try a few things. You don't remember any of that, huh? That's probably for the best. You were not pleased at being restrained, or rather, the entity wasn't pleased. Anyway, we figured out a way to get it out of you. It took some doing, but we got there. Lots of thinking outside the box, and ignoring the people who suggested we should just throw you out an airlock and be done with it. Don't worry, that was a minority. Barely anyone suggested that. But yeah, we solved the mystery. It was a particular frequency of radiation that seemed to really piss off the entity, so it left your body and disappeared. Problem solved. Oh, we thought about it. I'd say roughly half the crew was in favor of targeting the energy cloud and destroying it, just blowing it to nothingness. But in the end, we took the route of coming in peace, and we just put up some warnings for other ships. Should be fine now. Yeah, so that wasn't the end of it. Dealing with that took a couple of days, and then you were fine, but then there was another issue. As soon as the entity left your body, you passed out again. Yeah, so this was interesting. Turns out there was an artifact in the hold, one of the things we picked up from that archaeological dig, and it was all packed away and secure, but the radiation that we used to get the energy thing out of you also somehow managed to wake up this artifact. And then it honed in on you and knocked you unconscious. No, I don't mean it flew at your face or anything. It was some sort of beam, like a connection between you and the artifact. And you were just completely out. It was the worst sort of coincidence. Like, what are the odds that radiation would stimulate that one artifact? Anyway, we tried to break the beam, but that almost killed you. Don't worry, you got better, and then we just had to leave you to it for a few days while we studied the artifact. There was surprisingly little known about that culture, but we crammed it like it was an organic chemistry final. And in the end, none of it mattered. It just sort of shut down and let you go. Yeah, for no reason that we could see. I don't think we did anything. I think it did it on its own. Which, that's good, right? That's a positive. So, do you have any memories of that? Nothing? No dreams or recollections of a society long since past? If I handed you a flute, do you think you could play it? Huh. Okay then, I guess there was nothing important that came out of that. I'm sure it will never pop up and bite us in the ass at some very inopportune time later. So, yeah, that was another couple of days, but you woke up, everything was good, for like an hour. Okay, so after you woke up from that incident, you were pretty weak, and we think maybe word got around that you'd been incapacitated for a few days. So, it doesn't really surprise me that the Tuckracks decided to attack. Yeah, they did. Well, a rogue ship did. The Tuckracks Confederation insists that they had no knowledge of the attack and it was just a rogue terrorist, blah blah blah, but yeah, one ship did try. I bet that if it had worked, suddenly the Tuckracks Confederation would have been all over that, but it didn't, so it's all good. Well, you had just sat down in your captain's chair when the attack started, and our shields were down because they were cloaked and we didn't see them, so... Yeah, your console exploded and knocked you unconscious again, immediately. Those consoles blow up way too easily. We should probably get them looked at. I know, but come on, one whiff of a breeze and they explode. That seems like a pretty major design flaw, especially in ships that see combat. Okay, well, you were out again, so we got you to sickbay, got all the burns cleaned up and healed. Oh yeah, there were burns. You looked like raw beef, and also a little bit of cooked beef. But only for a few minutes. I didn't see that much of you anyway, I had to take command. Sweetness, please. I mean, Captain, please. Do you think for 1 second I would let those guys do anything short of wet themselves? Of course I took care of it. The pilot is in the brig, and the ship is in pieces somewhere a few light years back. Totally handled. I told you, you've got a very competent crew under you. We can handle anything. And that guy seriously underestimated our armament. I think he thought we were a science vessel or something. Like I said, all good. We're already nearly done repairing the damage. And you woke up not too long after. So that was just a blip, really, not even worth mentioning. Except I might need you to edit my report about the Tuckracks Confederation. I used a few more 4-letter words than I should have, probably. Yeah, so that brings us to yesterday. You woke up, you were a bit disoriented but mostly okay, and everything seemed pretty close to back to normal. Okay, so this last one, it's just one of those things, it happens. No, not an anomaly, not a space storm or some new enemy or a time shift or anything like that. This one... A very well-meaning lieutenant from the Fluvial Geomorphology Lab wanted to bake you some cookies to help you feel better. So they did that. They baked you some cookies. And they brought you the cookies, and you loved the cookies. And they didn't stop to think that maybe the zizzle root in the cookies would be toxic to you. Yeah, the lieutenant is a Garvad, and, they just forgot about the differences in physiology. They meant well, I swear. I know they were not trying to poison you. I mean, I'm pretty sure. They seemed to feel really bad. And I did walk in on them when it looked like they were planning some sort of ritual offing of themselves to make up for the heinous crime they had committed, which I put a stop to that. But yeah. You had some very wild hallucinations for a few hours and then you passed out again. And we weren't sure whether you'd wake up this time. But look, here you are. Everything's okay. Well, I mean, some of your organs had to be replaced, but otherwise everything's okay. Look, I'm just glad you're alive. There was some doubt for a bit there, and I had to worry about you while also running the ship and consoling a very distraught junior officer who thought they had murdered the captain. So cut me a bit of slack, please. I know, I get that. I suppose from your perspective you missed the excitement. But to be fair, you were there for most of it. Most of it was centered on you, in fact. It's nobody's fault you can't remember any of it. Yeah, we'll make sure there's no more Zizzleroot on board, ever. At the very least, we don't need the engineers getting zonked out on it in their off hours. So, that's the short version of what's been going on. The end. You can read the details in my reports, but not right now. I'm not going to answer any more questions. Right now, you need to keep resting. We have to be sure you're fully recovered from being poisoned. Okay then, how you feeling now that you've been awake for a bit? Anything hurt? Okay, that's good. Maybe your memory of some of this will come back over time, but honestly, I kind of hope it doesn't. Like I said, everything was handled. It was scary at times, especially when I thought we might lose you, but it's okay now. And I would just like to move forward and into the future with as little trauma as possible. You think we can manage that? Thank you, Captain, or Captain Pookie Bear. I hope you're right. It's been one hell of a week. Over on my Patreon, there are dozens of audios you can access right now. More Medusa, some great dragon content, and even more stuff I can't go into here. You'll also get access to my private Discord, where I host movie nights and hangouts, and you might be a Sweetness patron, like Soothed by Sound. Click the link in the description to join my Patreon and start grabbing those benefits. If you don't like Patreon, become a channel member to get unlisted audio content and early access to all public audios. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thank you so much for making my audios possible.